you truly happy with your life, or is there a feeling hidden in some corner of your heart that you deserve so much, but you don't understand? This video is for those who don't want to understand anymore. The dreams that were only limited to thinking, now it's time for it to become a reality, be made. If you want the world to value you, you must first give yourself the place you deserve. Today we will talk about 6 principles that can change your thinking, your attitude, and your quality of life forever. This is not just a video. It is a new beginning. Be sure to watch until the end because your real journey may begin here. To raise your standards and get anything you want, the first step is to clarify your vision. This means creating a clear mental image of what you want to achieve in life. Without a clear vision, your energy and efforts are scattered, often resulting in minimal progress or wasted time. When you take the time to define what you truly want, whether it's success in a career, financial freedom, a meaningful relationship, personal growth, you give your mind a target to focus on. Clarity is power. It transforms vague desires into specific goals and ignites a strong sense of purpose that fuels motivation and action. The process of clarifying your vision starts by asking yourself deep and honest questions. What does a fulfilling life look like for you? What do you truly want, not what others expect of you? This step is not about being realistic or practical. At first, it's about being honest. Many people settle for less because they have never taken the time to dream in detail. They have a general idea of wanting more, but without specifics. They remain stuck in routines that don't challenge or fulfill them. The more specific and vivid your vision, the more it pulls you forward. You begin to notice opportunities that align with your goals, and your mind becomes alert to solutions instead of obstacles. Visualization is a powerful tool that can help in this process. Close your eyes and imagine your ideal life. See it in full color, hear the sounds, feel the emotions, and experience what it would be like to live that way. The mind responds to imagery, and when you mentally rehearse your future, your subconscious begins to accept it as possible. This belief then influences your behavior, leading you to take actions that are aligned with your vision. This isn't wishful thinking, it's mental preparation. Elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and high achievers in all fields use visualization as a way to mentally program themselves for success. Once you have a clear picture of what you want, write it down. Putting your vision into words gives it form and turns it into something you can refine and revisit. Writing forces clarity. It helps you spot inconsistencies or vague ideas and challenges you to make your vision more concrete. Don't just write general statements like, I want to be rich, or I want to be happy. Be specific. I want to earn $150 a year doing work I love, or I want to feel energized and inspired every day by being in a creative environment. The clearer your vision, the easier it is to build a plan around it. Clarity of vision also acts as a filter for decision making. When you know exactly where you're going, it becomes easier to say no to distractions, opportunities that don't align, or relationships that pull you off course. You stop living reactively and start making choices based on what brings you closer to your ideal life. Every decision, big or small, can be measured against your vision. If it supports your goal, move forward. If it doesn't, let it go. Finally, remember that your vision should grow as you grow. Don't be afraid to revise and refine it. As you gain new experiences and insights, your understanding of what you want may evolve. That's a good thing. A strong vision isn't rigid. It's a living, breathing compass that keeps you moving forward with purpose and passion. Clarifying your vision is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice that helps you stay aligned with your highest potential and the life you truly want to create. Elevating Your self-belief is essential if you want to raise your standards and achieve anything meaningful. Self-belief is the inner conviction that you are capable, deserving, and powerful enough to pursue and accomplish your goals. Without it, even the clearest vision will remain out of reach because you'll never take the necessary steps to act on it. Many people fail not because they lack talent or resources, but because they don't believe they are worthy or capable of more. When you elevate your self-belief, you change the way you interact with the world, you speak differently, act with more confidence, take more calculated risks, and persist longer when things get tough. The process of building strong self-belief begins with awareness. You have to recognize the thoughts and stories you're telling yourself on a daily basis. Most limiting beliefs operate silently in the background, shaped by past failures, criticism, or fear of judgment. You may hear an internal voice that says, "I'm not smart enough," "I always mess things up," or "people like me don't succeed." These thoughts are not facts. They are patterns you've accepted over time. The first step is to challenge them. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it absolutely true? What evidence do I have to disprove it? Often you'll realize that many of your self-limiting beliefs are based on old experiences or opinions that no longer apply. Rewriting these beliefs requires deliberate practice. Start by replacing limiting thoughts with empowering affirmations. For example, instead of "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm capable of learning anything I commit to." Affirmations alone won't change your life. When repeated with emotion and backed by action, they start to reshape your inner dialogue. Over time, this builds a new foundation of belief, one that supports your higher standards and greater ambitions. Another powerful way to elevate self-belief is by honoring your commitments to yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and follow through, no matter how small, you reinforce trust in your own ability. On the other hand, when you constantly break promises to yourself, you erode confidence and feed the belief that you're unreliable or weak. Start small if you must, but make your word mean something, whether it's waking up on time, finishing a task, or following a new habit. These small wins add up and signal to your mind that you are capable and dependable. Your environment also plays a major role in shaping your belief in yourself. Surround yourself with people who see your potential and encourage your growth. Limit your time around those who constantly criticize, doubt, or belittle your efforts. The energy and influence of others can either lift you or drag you down, so be intentional about who you allow into your mental space. Read books, listen to podcasts, and engage in conversations that inspire and stretch your thinking. The more you expose yourself to examples of resilience, courage, and success, the more you internalize those qualities as possibilities for yourself. Taking action, even when you don't feel fully confident, is one of the most effective ways to build belief. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It is a result of it. Each time you step outside your comfort zone and take on a challenge, you expand your sense of what's possible. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't have to stop you. Action builds evidence, and evidence builds belief. The more you do, the more you realize you can do. Lastly, be kind to yourself in the process. Elevating your self-belief doesn't mean pretending to be perfect or never feeling doubt. It means choosing to believe in your potential despite imperfections. It means treating yourself with compassion during setbacks and seeing failures as part of the journey rather than a reflection of your worth. When you consistently practice belief in yourself, you become unstoppable, not because everything is easy, but because you trust your ability to rise to the challenge no matter what stands in your way. Refusing to settle is a powerful declaration that you are no longer willing to accept less than you deserve in any area of your life. Multimedia fun. It's about drawing a clear line in the sand and deciding that mediocrity, complacency, and half-hearted effort are no longer acceptable. Too often, people in circumstances they're unhappy with, jobs that drain them, relationships that leave them unfulfilled, lifestyles that fall short of their desires, not because they lack the potential for more, but because settling feels safer than change. Refusing to settle means you're no longer okay with just getting by or surviving. It's a mindset that demands growth, progress, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. The decision to raise your standards begins with a brutal honesty about where you're currently settling. This might be in your health, your finances, your goals, or your environment. The first step is to face the truth without excuses. Are you in a job that doesn't inspire you, but you stay because it's comfortable? Are you tolerating relationships that lack respect, passion, or real connection because you fear being alone? Are you living in a way that feels disconnected from your deeper purpose? These are difficult questions, but necessary ones. Settling often disguises itself as stability, but in reality, it slowly erodes your confidence, energy, and sense of self-worth. Once you recognize where you've been settle-wide, the next step is to understand why. Most people settle because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, the media, in fear of the unknown. They convince themselves that wanting more is unrealistic or selfish. They lower their standards because they believe aiming higher will only lead to disappointment. But in truth, shooting media fun, settling is often more painful in the long run than trying and failing. When you choose to live below your potential, a part of you knows you're capable of more. That inner conflict creates frustration, resentment, and regret. Refusing to settle doesn't mean being reckless or chasing perfection. It means aligning your life with your values, desires, and highest potential. It's about saying no to what doesn't serve you so you can say yes to what truly matters. The media fund. This might mean making hard choices, leaving a job, ending a relationship, changing your habits, or walking away from environments that drain you. Media fund. These decisions require courage, but they also open the door to transformation. You cannot attract or build the life you truly want while holding on to what keeps you stuck. The moment you raise your standards, everything begins to shift. You start to expect more from yourself and others. You no longer tolerate excuses or negative self-talk. You push yourself to grow even when it's uncomfortable. And as you raise the bar, you begin to attract better opportunities, people, and experiences into your life. Your external world starts to reflect your internal commitment to excellence. Refusing to settle is a daily practice. It's not a one-time decision, but a mindset you bring into everything you do. It shows up in how you treat your body, how you spend your time, multi-fun, how you speak to yourself, and how you show up in the world. It's in the small choices. Choosing to work out instead of hitting snooze, choosing to have that difficult conversation instead of avoiding it, choosing to pursue a goal even when progress is slow. These moments build momentum and strengthen your identity as someone who doesn't settle. Ultimately, refusing to settle is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your life matters, that your dreams are valid, and that you are willing to do the work required to live at a higher level. It doesn't guarantee an easy path, but it guarantees a meaningful one when you commit to never settling again. Multimedia, you open yourself up to the full spectrum of what life has to offer, not just survival, but real fulfillment, purpose, and joy. Surrounding yourself with excellence is one of the most transformative steps you can take when raising your standards. The people, environments, and influences you allow into your life shape your mindset, decisions, and ultimately your future. Whether you realize it or not, you become like the people you spend the most time with, their habits, attitudes, beliefs, and energy either push you forward or pull you down. The fun, if you want to achieve more, think bigger, and live better, you must intentionally place yourself in the company of excellence. Excellence doesn't necessarily mean perfection or status. It means being around people who are committed to growth, integrity, mastery, and purpose. It's about aligning with individuals who inspire you to rise, who challenge your complacency, and who encourage you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. These people don't just talk about goals. They live in a way that reflects discipline, courage, and vision. When you're in their presence, you feel motivated not out of competition or comparison, but from a shared commitment to living fully. A huge multimedia fund, one of the biggest barriers to surrounding yourself with excellence is comfort. Many people stay in familiar circles, even if those environments are filled with negativity, laziness, or low ambition. This happens not because they admire those traits, but because change feels awkward and uncertain. They fear being judged for wanting more, a huge media fund, or they hesitate to outgrow relationships that no longer align with their direction. But keeping yourself in spaces that reinforce old patterns will keep you in those patterns. Growth requires friction, and sometimes that means stepping away from comfort to step into something greater. Start by evaluating the energy around you. Ask yourself, huge multimedia fund, do the people in my life challenge me to be better, or do they enable my excuses? Do they lift me up when I'm down, or do they bring drama and distractions? Are the conversations I have daily helping me think bigger or keeping me stuck in small thinking? Being honest about this allows you to make conscious choices. You may not need to cut people out of your life entirely, but you can choose how much influence they have, create boundaries where needed, and seek out new connections that align with your evolving values and goals. In addition to people, excellence also comes from your daily inputs. The books you read, the content you consume, the environments you place yourself in. If you're constantly surrounded by noise, negativity, or mediocrity, it affects how you think and feel. On the other hand, if you regularly expose yourself to uplifting ideas, success stories, and educational or inspirational material, you begin to adopt the mindset of excellence. Your mental diet is just as important as your physical one. Feed it well. Finding excellence sometimes requires stepping outside your current circle. Attend events, join groups, or engage in communities where people are passionate and purpose-driven. Don't be intimidated by those who are further along than you. Instead, multimedia fund. Observe them, learn from them, and be willing to contribute your value as well. Excellence is contagious. Media fund. When you're around people who operate with high standards, you naturally begin to elevate your own. It's also important to become the kind of person you want to attract. If you want to be surrounded by leaders, creators, or visionaries, become one yourself. Show up with discipline, bring value to your relationships, and commit to your own path of growth. Huge multimedia fund. Excellence isn't just something you absorb from others. It's something you cultivate within and then reflect back to your world. Surrounding yourself with excellence is a decision to take full responsibility for your environment and influences. It's about choosing connection over comfort, progress over familiarity, and inspiration over stagnation. When you immerse yourself in excellence, it becomes the standard, and anything less becomes unacceptable. That shift in environment is often the catalyst for everything else to change. Disciplining your habits is the foundation of lasting success and a key step in raising your standards to get anything you want. No matter how big your goals are or how clearly you've defined your vision, none of it matters without consistent action, and action is driven by habit. What you do every day shapes who you become. Your habits either support your growth or sabotage it. Discipline isn't about being harsh or rigid. It's about taking control of your time, energy, and focus so you can move deliberately toward the life you want. Every person operates on routines, whether they are intentional or not. The question is whether your routines are aligned with the future you're trying to build. Most people fail not because they lack desire, but because their daily actions are disconnected from their larger goals. They want health, but skip workouts. They want success, but procrastinate on important tasks. They want wealth, but waste time or money on things that don't serve them. When you discipline your habits, you close that gap between what you say you want and what you actually do. Discipline begins with awareness. Take an honest inventory of your daily behaviors. What do you do when you wake up? How do you spend your free time? Where does your attention go when you feel tired, bored, or stressed? These small moments determine your trajectory. If your habits are disorganized or reactive, your results will reflect that. If your habits are intentional and focused, progress becomes inevitable. This isn't about being perfect every day, but about developing a consistent pattern of actions that compound over time. One of the most effective ways to build discipline is to simplify your focus. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in 1 week. Start with 1 or 2 key habits that directly support your goals. For example, if you want to improve your physical health, commit to exercising for 30 minutes a day and preparing nutritious meals in advance. If you want to grow your business or career, commit to learning or executing 1 new skill every day. By narrowing your focus, you reduce overwhelm and increase your ability to follow through. Discipline also requires structure. Create systems that support your desired behavior. Set a specific time for your habits. Create reminders. Eliminate distractions and make it easier to follow through than to fall off track. Environment plays a huge role in habit formation. If your workspace is cluttered, your phone is filled with distractions, or your kitchen is stocked with junk food, you're making it harder on yourself. Set yourself up for success by designing an environment that makes disciplined behavior the default. Resistance and temptation are part of the process, and this is where most people quit. They wait to feel motivated, and when they don't, they give up. The truth is, you won't always feel like doing what's necessary. That's why discipline is more important than motivation. Discipline means doing it anyway, especially when it's inconvenient, boring, or uncomfortable. Each time you act in spite of resistance, you build a stronger identity as someone who follows through. That identity is powerful. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes automatic. Celebrating small wins is also essential. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how minor it seems. Every step forward reinforces the belief that change is possible. The brain responds to positive reinforcement, and recognizing your effort builds momentum. This isn't about seeking external validation, but about building internal confidence that you are capable of staying committed to your path. Ultimately, disciplining your habits is about honoring your future self. It's a daily choice to live with intention, not impulse. To act in alignment with your highest vision, not your momentary mood. When your habits reflect the person you want to become, your life starts to mirror your highest standards, and from that place, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Taking relentless action is the final and most crucial step in turning your vision into reality. You can have the clearest goals, the strongest belief in yourself, the best environment, and the most disciplined habits, but without consistent, determined action, none of it matters. Action is what separates dreamers from achievers. It's what bridges the gap between who you are and who you're becoming. Relentless action means you don't wait for perfect conditions, ideal timing, or full confidence. You move forward anyway. You act through fear, through uncertainty and through discomfort, because you know that momentum creates results. Many people get stuck in the trap of overthinking or waiting. They analyze, plan, and research endlessly, hoping to find the perfect strategy or eliminate all risk before starting. But perfection is an illusion. Waiting for everything to line up is just procrastination in disguise. Those who succeed at the highest levels are not necessarily the most talented or prepared. They are the ones who take the most consistent action. They try, they fail, they adjust, and they keep going. Relentless action is not glamorous. It's not about waiting for inspiration. It's about showing up, doing the work, and building something real day by day. This kind of action comes from commitment, not emotion. If you only act when you feel like it, your results will be inconsistent at best. But when you make a decision that you are fully committed to your goal, no matter how long it takes or how hard it gets, you develop an unstoppable drive. You learn to push through resistance. You don't let setbacks define you. Instead of asking, what if this doesn't work? You begin to ask, what's my next move? Every problem becomes a puzzle, not a barrier. One key to taking relentless action is to stop focusing so much on outcomes and start focusing on effort. You can't always control the timing or the exact results, but you can always control how much you show up. Measure success by your consistency, not by quick wins. If you write every day, improve your skill set every week, make one more call, show up to one more opportunity, those actions compound over time. What looks like overnight success is usually years of relentless action behind the scenes. Fear will always try to slow you down. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. But fear loses its grip when you move. More action you take, the more confidence you build. You start to see that mistakes don't kill you, that failure is just feedback, and that most limits are mental. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep going in spite of it. Relentless action builds resilience. It teaches you that you can handle more than you thought and grow faster than you believed. It's also important to create a rhythm of review and adjustment. Relentless action doesn't mean blindly working without direction. It means being willing to take bold steps, learn from every move, and pivot when necessary. Progress is rarely a straight line. Sometimes you'll need to course correct, improve your strategy, or change your approach, but never the goal. Keep your vision in mind and adapt your path as needed. Taking relentless action isn't a temporary push. It's a way of life. It becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who doesn't quit, someone who moves forward no matter what, someone who creates results through persistence and discipline. And when that becomes who you are, success stops being a question of if and becomes a matter of when. Your life will rise to meet your effort. Keep moving, keep pushing, and never stop taking the next step forward.